Hello all of you little demons, Jules here for WhatCulture.com, back again with another episode of the awesomely named and awfully hosted Tues Your Own Adventure, the weekly medieval themed format where I, the crown Jules of WhatCulture.com, take a list chosen by you, yes you the person who's wearing a hat indoors because I'm a cool guy, and also because I forgot to shave my head and I definitely look like a scrotum today, so not gonna happen, not having that on camera. Not in the slightest. Anyway, yes, you get to decide what list I dole out to you each and every week. And this week we have none other to thank than Lord of the Flies, and then some numbers at the end that I've just completely forgotten about. But thank you very much for your suggestion of evil rewards for evil players who do evil things in evil video games, or as we've termed it to be, video game rewards that only evil players unlocked. And this is the thing. As much as I'd like to sit here and tell you that being good always pays out in the end, it is all too true that in our society that those with oily morals tend to shoot up the ladders of success far quicker than the rest of us. And it seems as well in video games that if you're prepared to sacrifice your morals and sometimes your friends, you will end up with big, bad rewards. So let's take a look at them. As I'm Jules, this is WhatCulture.com, and these are 8 video game rewards only evil players unlocked. They've done a deal with Beelzebub, and I'm not happy about it. Oh, by the way, before we begin, usual stuff, say hi to me here in the live chat and please suggestions for next week's episode down in the comment section below, but also there's a dishonourable mention, as it were, and that's Fall Guys, because if you've ever won a crown on that game, you know what you did to get it. I know it, you know it, you scum. That's a bit harsh. Anyway, let's go on with that list. Number 8, cheap blood items. Blood Omen Legacy of KAIN. So when you're playing as a Dark Lord of the Night with such a penchant for the stuff that's flowing through your veins that you swear that he might have tomatophagia, then KAIN from the Legacy of KAIN series isn't exactly the type of nice fella that you'd invite around to your nan's house for a game of bridge. And you know what, you'd be right, as he'd likely throw poor Nana off of said bridge in a sack filled with angry rats if there was a chance of bettering his own personal situation. Now, aiming to become the lord of all life and death, KAIN's lofty goals see him wield a truly astonishing amount of cruel and unusual weapons, and in order to wield them, he has to visit blood shrines in order to upgrade his skills and powers in exchange for his blood. So far, so terrifying, right? Well, it turns out that evil players definitely found a way to get more fang for their buck. I'm glad I didn't put the fang on the other word in that sentence there. You see, said blood fountains require a portion of blood to be given in exchange for their power and will damage KAIN if he's too greedy. However, the fountain doesn't specify that it has to be his own blood that is dripped into the pool, and as such, that follower that you've just used mind control on is looking rather like a walking blood bank. After making a rather swift deposit, KAIN can enjoy all of the benefits without any of the drawbacks and makes evil playthroughs of this game so much easier. Number 7, The Skull of Corruption, The Elder Scrolls II Daggerfall. Now, I think it's pretty fair to say that the Elder Scrolls franchise is very well known for its love for crazy, eccentric, and over-the-top weapons. But you know what's better than a fork of infinite stabbing +1? It's a Daedric artifact that will turn your enemies into their own worst nightmares. To mess with another person's mind is quite possibly one of the worst things we humans can do to one another. Invading that psychic fortress we call a brain only to sow seeds of negativity is something that can have pretty dangerous consequences. For example, I once played a Scar song to young James over here. Now, he's scarred for life. I'll be here all week, because it's my house. It's not even my house, it's my girlfriend's house. She'd have my guts for guts if I put that on the internet. See her punching through the wall like Beefgates. That being said, in video game form, it can provide some moments of true dark comedy fun, and such fun can be found in Vernima's quest in The Elder Scrolls II Daggerfall. Here you're tasked with killing a fallen follower of her cult, and even before the mission starts, she details how you're literally going to murder an innocent person who has done you no wrong. Which is definitely setting off the evil alarm round here, which again I believe is Beelzebub's wake-up call. Get down out of here! You're already infecting enough of this episode. However, before you start to develop a conscience, she presents a tantalizing gift, the Skull of Corruption. With this, you can create a duplicate of any living being and then watch them fight to the death as both enact Highlander rules, aka there can only be one. It is quite possibly one of the cruelest weapons in the entire franchise. I mean, you're creating deadly duplicates and then forcing them to fight to the death. Imagine being killed by yourself. Not very fun, I imagine. But then then again, on the other hand, I guess it is kind of fun to recreate your own version of Invasion of the Body Snatchers, so comme ça. Number 6, SYMBIOTE Skateboard Slam, Spider-Man Web of Shadows. So as I have already mentioned a million times over on this channel, I utterly adore the Dynasty Warriors franchise. I do believe that Slimy J himself descended from the heavens and gifted this to me and just said, look, I know you like the same game over and over again. I'm gonna make a franchise where all you do is just mash buttons over and over again. You like that, Jules? And I'm like, yes, my lord. Yes, I do. Thank you very much. I know I sound like I'm pedantic right now, but I am actually in awe of your majesty and splendor. Goodbye. See you later. Anyway, love Dynasty Warriors. Where am I going with this again? Spider-Man Web of Shadows. How does this connect? Oh yeah. The reason I like these games is because of the power fantasy of just smashing a man into base elements using a club big enough to vote is what I am about. Therefore, I was utterly over the moon when I found out that I could replicate some of these over-the-top power moves in Spider-Man Web of Shadows. See, I knew I was going to find my way eventually. Which offers you the single coolest, most humiliating and altogether evil power if you walk the line of the sinister symbiote playthrough. By being evil and upgrading the black spider suit, you'll gain access to a ton of brutal combos that are utterly brilliant at dispatching enemies with. However, none is as hilarious as unlocking the ability to smash your foe into the floor and then ride them like a goddamn skateboard into more enemies, doing damage to both in the process. Imagine being used as a mobile Peter Parker punchline in this manner. It's utterly humiliating, but it's also really, really brilliant. Number 5, become a super rich emperor super quickly. Dynasty Warriors 5 Empires. Oh yes, I get to talk more about Dynasty Warriors, but this time about the spin-off series which were the Empire games, which for some reason doesn't seem to have like a regular release. They just seem to squirt or fall off of the larger body of the franchise from time to time. I utterly love them because it combines all of my favorite things, destroying people as overpowered gods of myth and legend, and on the other hand, meticulous and boring base mechanics. God, spreadsheets, I love them. They also offered me the true joy of proclaiming myself as Emperor, usually with my own custom character, Zhu. Do you get it? Which never ever got old. However, what did get pretty tedious was claiming this prize while playing as a morally good character, as by helping the people, giving out all of your acquired wealth and items to allies, and basically being a benevolent leader means that you'd struggle so much as you progress. With little disposable wealth to hire new officers, fewer resources to better your equipment, and a lack of heft to bully the rest of China with, you're going to witness land masses sink into the sea quicker than you can rise to the top. So why not put the dong in dong zhuo and just be an utter dickbag about it? By taxing the populace and hoarding everything, you'll end up becoming emperor in no time, and arguably you'll have much more fun doing it, as you'll end up in more conflict, and let's face it, that's where the joy of these games lie, in battering people more than Scottish cuisine. Delicious. So yes, technically you can get this reward by being good, but I ask you, why the hell would you? Number 4, sadistic power-ups, Infamous 2. So one of my biggest pet peeves in all of gaming, outside of titles that for some reason save just before a lengthy, unskippable cutscene, are when some games include a morality system but then skew it so that it definitely rewards one side over the other and makes you think, why would I ever go down this path when this path here is much cooler? Case in point, the original and sequel to Infamous, which for some reason only known to the developers themselves, decided to make evil Cole akin to actually let's have some fun Cole. Now while you could tread the light fantastic and shoot out blue lightning for the forces of good, the power-ups attached to this side all revolved around healing and restoring energy. Boring, am I right? I mean, who cares if your arm's left just hanging by a thread if you've got enough power in the other arm to level a bloody city block? With the evil playthrough, you could unlock power-ups that increase the radius of your explosive power, or better still, make enemies detonate in an explosion of gore by getting a headshot. Plus, and this is a biggie, by seeing things through to the end on the evil playthrough, you'll actually get to side with the big bad. And I mean, just take a look at him. He's a colossus of hate and anger. Why wouldn't you want to team up with that? That would be like getting an invitation to tea by the one and only Beefgates. Oh! Yes, that's right, ladies and gents. It's time to talk about the one and only Beef Gates. Now, you remember last week I asked you which design you would actually like to see as the official rendition of Beef Gates. And we have a winner, which is here. Look at the power of my magic that I'm sure that James is animating. Oh, look at him. I would kiss him, but I'm afraid that I would either get stabbed by one of his horns or he'd just knock me out. So, just going to leave him be for the moment. But there we go. Beef Gates is here. Yep, Beef Gates is here. And he's here to stay. Jesus, mate. I didn't even try. James, we can't even keep him under wraps. It's his first appearance. Thank you so much, Louise Olivaria, for your beautiful rendition of Beef Gates. Number 3, Chaos Blast, Shadow the Hedgehog. Oh, Shadow the Hedgehog, what a weird game you were. Coming out at a time where Team Sonic was just throwing every single Coke-covered idea at the wall and then realizing that, wait, no, there's a hole in the wall and what we've done is just throw the idea straight out onto the video game marketplace. Uh-oh, what are we doing? This game is a bundle of weird and wonderful ideas. You've got edgy hedgies with guns just working for the government or against it with the giant main antagonist. It was clear from the off that this game was not your classic Sonic experience. This was less gotta go fast and more gotta dismantle the world government. Stranger still, the game offered you options in how you'd like to play through missions, either helping the heroes of the franchise like Sonic and Tails, or continuing to side with the main antagonist. Now, in doing the latter, you'd gain access to a pretty awesome move called the Chaos Blast. The Chaos Blast! James, help me! Which obliterates every single life form in the area. Yeah, you become a walking nuclear bomb. How cool is that? Now, I know that some of you are going to point out right now that if you side with the forces of good, you get chaos control, which makes you invulnerable, super fast, and dish out tons and tons of damage. But I just want to point this out. Yes, that is very cool, but being able to destroy everything is even cooler. Plus, the fact that you're moving literally at the speed of sound when you're in chaos control means that you miss about 90% of the collectibles in this game, meaning that if you want to find everything, if you want to unlock all of the extra content and the extra epilogue ending, it kind of suggests that you are going to have to play things through at least once on the evil side. So yeah, it cons you into being the bad dude. Number 2, DOUBLE-PERK Park Overlord, Fallout 4 NUKA World DLC. So in the past, I have waxed lyrical about Preston Garvey from Fallout 4, who basically just acts as a rotten corn cob being shoved up my tailpipe for all of his reminders of how I need to protect the settlements. I couldn't count the times that I was knee-deep in some super mutant guts, cackling with glee as flesh was being stripped from the bone, only to have Jeff Bozo over here come and tell me that we needed to stop 3 poorly armed raiders from giving Farmer Dillweed's irradiated carrots the old grab-a-stand treatment. Therefore, I was utterly delighted with the NUKA World DLC, which basically just came up and said, do you want to actually have some fun? Let's have some fun. Because it offered you the chance to become a raider overboss and take a raiding party back into the wasteland to destroy settlements. Oh, thank God. Thank you so much. I know that this is bad, Slimy J. I know it's bad. I know that I'm giving myself over to Beelzebub right here, but for once, mate, you're right. You're right. Get down. Now that in itself is incredibly evil, right? To finally put the boot to all of those needy people who ruined your good time? Well, my friend, that's not actually the best part of all of this, because when you decide which gang to take into the wasteland, you also take on one of their perks, offering big boosts to your combat output. However, if you're a right sneak about things, you can actually get 2 perks for the price of 1 if you know what you're doing, and I'm going to detail how. All you need to do is take over the park and make sure that you divvy up the area between the 3 gangs to the ratio of 3 sections under 1 gang's control and the other 2 gangs given 1 apiece. This means that you get the gang with the majority controls perk, and then when it comes to deciding which gang to take with you back into the wasteland, you choose one of the other ones and get their perk as well. Double the money, double the evil fun. And number 1, cool armor and a ton of money. Mega Man Legends. Listen, we've all been through that stage in life where we want to grow out our hair long into an emo-tastic fringe, listen to music so depressing that it made the Smiths shed a tear, and clad yourself in the blackest of clothes that reject the very light itself. We've all been there. Some of us don't grow out of it, and I'm not judging you people at all. I'm just saying that it's a phase that everyone goes through. Still, if you want to relive those glory days of jet black armor, why not dip Mega Mega Man in oil via some truly nefarious deeds. In the criminally underrated Mega Man Legends title, you're tasked with multiple missions aimed at helping a struggling town get back out from under a group of pirates that are constantly causing trouble. And some of these quests tie into the game's moral choice system, which is also known as the ethics system. However, what's truly strange about all of this is the fact that aside from the townspeople not really liking you that much and voicing their displeasure at having to serve you, there's really no consequence for littering, kicking dogs, or stealing tons of money from a bank robbery. In this one mission, right, you're basically tasked with reclaiming all of this money off that's been stolen. And instead of just giving it back to the lieutenant, you just leave the area and just go, nah, I'm keeping it. And this results in the coolest reward of the entire game. Money and jet black armor. Now, thankfully, the sequel to this title did address things a little in the department of actually giving you some negative consequences for your actions, but only in the sense that some prices in stores would be greater if you were the bad Mega Man, and this was negated somewhat by having items that only the evil Mega Man could buy and that could be sold for insane prices. So basically, what you should take away from this is that the Mega Man Legends games want you to be a dick. Brilliant! And there we go, my friends. Those were 8 incredible video game rewards that only evil players unlocked. I hope that you enjoyed that, and please let me know what you thought about it down in the comments section below. As always, I've been Jules. You can go follow me over on Twitter at RetroJ, or you can swing by Live and Let's Dice, where I do all of my streaming, Warhammer board game content and stuff like that outside of work. It'd be great to see you over there. But before I go, I just want to say one thing. Obviously, I don't want any of you to go out there and live an evil life, my friends. You should be good and kind to one another and yourself as well, because that is the only way that we as a society are truly going to move onwards. We should not be trying to hoard things for ourselves and make our riches at the expense of others. We should be trying to bring everyone up rather than punch down, all right? So if you have the capacity to forgive, forget, move on, build connections instead of burning bridges, I encourage you to do that at every single turn, all right? Treat yourself with love as well as your neighbor. As always, I've been Jules. You have been awesome. Never forget that. And I'll speak to you soon. Bye.